This man running on a beach in Mozambique is François Sarano. He's an oceanographer and was for many years the scientific director of Commander Cousteau. At Cousteau's side, he sailed the seas tirelessly seeking out their secrets. It's in order to meet with one of the most fascinating marine animals that we're here with François today. Don't be fooled, it isn't the hippos, but its distant relative, the dolphin. 55 million years ago, when the ancestors of the dolphins, which lived on the land, which moved and breathed on land, when they went back to the ocean, at some point they must have confronted this kind of thing. Even this hippopotamus, which can remain underwater for incredible periods of time in fresh water, and which weighs between 1.5 tons and 2 tons, is knocked about by the waves. The hippopotamus is the closest land relative of present-day cetaceans. Like them, the ancestors of whales and dolphins moved about on land. They sheltered in coastal lagoons where they could hide and rest. Little by little, they left their coastal refuges. They left to conquer the high seas where there is nowhere to set down, nowhere to hide. Over millions of years, their bodies were transformed. Their paws became fins. All of their senses were adapted to this weightless world, where they became as aquatic as fish. They even overcame the biggest handicap inherited from their ancestors: breathing air. Dolphins became the talented masters of the ocean. Intelligence, communication, cooperation. Dolphins have exceptional capacities. However, dolphins would be just one species among many others if they didn't show so much curiosity for us. Dolphins are the only wild species that come spontaneously to meet humans without apparent reward. This strange relationship between dolphins and man is universal. It happens despite differences in age or culture. All over the world, people talk of the friendship between humans and dolphins. Encounters with dolphins affect everyone. Some abandon everything to devote their lives to dolphins. It is this intriguing relationship between dolphins and mankind that François Sarano wants to explore. In one of the most isolated places in the world, the southern coast of Mozambique, Angie Gullen has come to live. She left her native South Africa and a comfortable life to come and live with the dolphins.
There I found myself face to face with a mother and her offspring, who I romantically like to think is Bo, as being the first contact. But there I found myself in the water looking at this mom and her baby, and she wasn't going anywhere and I wasn't going anywhere. And it was basically, time kind of stood still. And this experience moved me so much that it eventually saw me coming back to Ponta de Ora every couple of months to come and scuba dive, but I was actually coming to visit the dolphins. And each time I was coming back, I was actually seeing the same dolphins time and time again. So this obviously led us to develop dolphin encounters, obviously falling in love with the dolphins then and starting what was to be Africa's first structured wild dolphin swim program.
Every morning for the last 20 years, Angie has gone out to look for the dolphins that cruise along this wild coastline.
right, boys and girls, in we go. In we go, in we go.
Here to experience the joy of the encounter, but also to learn, Angie films her friends. She records their whistles in the hope of decoding them. She aims to analyse attitudes, mimicry, and the meaning of expressions. Is there a hidden meaning behind these somersaults? Or is this just a game without meaning or end, forever renewed?
That was incredible.
Yeah, so nice, beautiful. And the little baby from yesterday was there again?
Yeah.
Yeah? Looks
They
like
swam just around us,
And
they
around,
turned, they
for
show
sure.
their belly.
a lot of conscious interaction. That's really cool. Very
Wonderful,
nice.
wonderful. Oh, what a feast.
So many of them as well.
Génial.
Very special. All good things come to those that wait. So I'm told. Sometimes we have to wait longer than others.
Good time.
Oh, it was awesome. That was definitely a Class A swim. A lot of circle swimming, conscious interaction, and then also to have the mom, Tuba, bring her little newborn baby in to show us is also very special. But yeah, really close-up interaction, very cool. Nice. And lots of dolphins too.
You see they're happy.
Hear it, the whole
Yes,
feeling
they're
in the water's
whistling,
happy.
you know? And,
Yeah, not like
and
the
when
other
they
place.
come so close, and they wait for you. They wait for you. Oh.
That's it. It's almost as if they know we're not as fast as them, so they kind of slow down their mode so that we can keep up with them. Not that they were really going anywhere. They were pretty relaxed and chilled.
Here in Mozambique, there is no infrastructure, no port. Every morning, the boat has to be put back in the water after sheltering on shore during the night. Putting the boat in the water is the morning ritual here. Today, the tide is high, so it's not too complicated. But sometimes it has to be pushed for 2 or 3 meters. François Sarano and the rest of the team wait patiently for a wave. How can the dolphins be found in this immense space? They could be anywhere, kilometers away. Are they off the coast? North? South? Perhaps even out of reach, beyond the South African border. This morning, there's no wind. The pilot, Romain Garel, sends up the drone, a new means of finding from the sky dolphins that even the most experienced observer can't make out at wave level. From above, everything is clearer. From the Zodiac, we couldn't suspect how large the pod of dolphins is. 3 dolphins are breaking the waves, but there are 30 more invisible, swimming beneath the waves. There is no clear hierarchy nor formation swimming. Dolphin society is a little anarchic and very free. The mother and her newborn calf make up the only stable couple. Very different from the group of adolescents that form and break up to surf on the rushing waves. Even though the group is unstructured, the dolphins are still extremely sensitive and social creatures that cannot live deprived of their family or far from their clan. For the effective links they forge between them are as important as the food they eat. The drone is essential because it allows us to see all of the behavior of the animals that can't be seen from the boat, since the water's surface reflects in the same way as a mirror, preventing anyone from seeing beneath the water. So it's impossible to see the group's form, or else to see the few dolphins that leave the group to see who is playing with who. This gives an idea of the social behavior that can't be seen underwater because of poor visibility. This is why it is so important to observe from the sky. Bo, the female that Angie has known for 16 years, follows the boat. Angie has seen her give birth to 4 calves. 2 are still alive, the other 2 have died. Angie knows the entire family by diving with them. She can tell the story of each one, and they are fine stories.
I'm filling in our standard data sheet. So basically I'm collecting the information about the time we started, where we've seen the dolphins, taking GPS coordinates, what kind of behavior they're exhibiting, and also looking to see if there's any individuals that we recognize. So we collect data with every sighting that we have, and then this obviously goes onto the Dolphin Care database.
Unlike other dolphins, Bo is curious and an explorer. It was Bo that came to meet Angie first. Later on, she taught her newborn calves, Rosha, a female of 7 years, and Blue, a 2-year-old male, to come to people without fear. She has led a part of her pod into this new relationship. With dolphins, like other cetaceans, it's the females that conserve knowledge, teaching it to their young, and who create innovation. How can we best understand the immensity of their territory, or the immensity of their freedom? The Indian Ocean is the dolphins' playground. It was them that decided to come to her. This is their freedom. They come to satisfy their curiosity.
You have seen the baby?
I saw the baby in the water, really, really lovely. Very small, less than a month old. And I do think this is why the dolphins are avoiding us a little bit. So you would have seen when we first got them, they were really close inshore. They were steadily moving in a northerly direction. And then as we approached, they started heading offshore. And now they're going right offshore, which is not great for the little newborn, because obviously here the risk of predation rises. So we're going to rather leave them. Hopefully they'll come inshore on their own steam. We don't want to disturb them too much.
So we are going to look for another pod.
Yeah, we'll start heading up and trying to see if we can find some others.
If the boats can survive here, they can survive anything, even a storm. If getting the boats into the water this morning wasn't hard enough, getting back on land is a tricky business. Mitch, Angie's friend, knows by heart the route to follow to get past the powerful breakers and back on the beach.
Thank you, Mitch. Thank you, God.
But loving and respecting dolphins is not enough to be able to understand them.
So this is Gilly over here, his mom, and she's got quite a unique dorsal fin.
Ah, eh.
Okay.
I have seen her.
Ah, there we go. Yes, that's the same one. Yes.
Okay, and there was another one with a notch there. So
Right at the bottom.
Yeah.
There was another interesting one there with by the name of Zorro. He's one of our
Zorro.
males. Yeah, Zorro, one of our boys.
And this one is Gilly.
That's Gilly, yes.
Gilly.
Gilly, yeah.
All right. Okay.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, who's this one?
This is Rob over here. So Rob is the first dolphin that we identified in about 1996. He was really easy
a
to
white spot.
identify. He's got a big white spot on the side of his body, yeah. He had what was called a cookie cutter shark. It's a small parasitic shark that latches on. He's the only dolphin that I've seen in this area ever that's had that species of shark on him. And we think this is what actually left that scarring. I know they normally leave the big round white marks, but maybe got a bit of an infection or something. But interestingly enough, Rob is still in the area today, so this is his home.
Identifying each individual in a pod with dozens of members isn't easy. Especially since some older dolphins, like Rob, with his white mark, don't willingly come near the divers. And because sometimes another species confuses things, like this strange humpback dolphin who's got mixed up with the pod. But over time, the personalities become clear. Gully, the curious one, or Russia, the joker, who loves to play with seaweed. Fragile and ephemeral plants that become, for a few minutes, precious jewels. Like a juggler, Russia slides the seaweed from her beak to her pectoral fin, which she turns with dexterity so the ribbon of seaweed isn't carried off by the speed of the current. Dolphins spend a lot of time playing either alone or in groups. They use anything they find, seaweed or a jellyfish for a game of football. Few species do this as much. Perhaps only human children play with the same lack of concern. Angie is still in the front row seats. The dolphins often come and ask her to join in their game, but Angie is happy to just film what they do.
Okay, so on play, dolphins love to play just like us human beings as well. And this is Rosha over here, and she's got a small little Toby fish that she's busy playing with me. A little bit of dolphin soccer.
Did she offer you the?
Yeah. She brought it straight to me, and she dropped it off a couple of times. Yeah.
Angie doesn't want to reply to the invitation. She self-imposes a code of behavior to the letter. No replies to the games, and above all, no physical interaction. She doesn't want to give a bad example to other divers who could take advantage by holding on to the animals. This code of behavior is sometimes very difficult to respect when it's no longer a game, but a young dolphin strangled by a fishing net. However, when it happens, Angie stays outside, behind her camera.
Yeah, we get really close to our dolphins in Ponta de Ora, and yeah, one of the reasons I don't touch the dolphins because I respect their personal space. You know, I just had to look at it as myself. If I was walking down the street and all of a sudden a couple of strangers came rushing up to me and started pawing me and grabbing me, I'd find it quite offensive. And looking at dolphins as non-human persons, they pretty much feel and experience life on the same way that we do. So as a result of that, we have to respect their personal space as well. And I think the no-touch regulation allows them to come in really close, knowing that we're not going to reach out and try and grab them.
Some dolphins and some humans have sometimes crossed the line. It is even said that in Ireland, a somewhat strange individual has been taken as a friend by a dolphin. How far has this relationship gone? And more especially, who has tamed who?
This is, yeah, a life that I wanted to live when I was 17, 18. It's taken a while. I'm 61 now. But yeah, well, I have it rather organized, I can say, in such a way that I don't have to organize anything. Things are organized for me, like by the weather.
Jan Plug left everything to come and live in Ireland in his van. He was an anthropologist with a comfortable life in the Netherlands. When he fell ill, his friends rejected him. This led to a period of torment until he met Dusty, a dolphin who accepted him as he was, without question.
Well, the core of my existence here is the dolphin. I photograph and film her, but I put a lot more energy into writing about her. The great thing is that I can write what I think. I don't have to prove it because I'm not a scientist.
Jan isn't a scientist, but his experience is unique. For years, his blog on dolphin behavior has been followed by a community of researchers, specialists, and amateurs all over the world. Dusty appeared from nowhere. How did she know? What tiny signal allowed her to know her friend was there? An inseparable couple and intimate friends, so close that they no longer need to speak to understand each other. What is this sense that has no need of a receptor, but clearly exists? Dusty isn't tamed nor a pet, she's quite wild. She answers to nobody. In fact, it is her that gives meaning to Jan's life.
It's pretty heavy, but it still floats.
Yes, but it's wonderful. It's well designed. It's
after
handpack well.
It's in relationship to me.
I assume you swim very lightly.
Yeah. And the general principle of the water wing is that I have it like this, then I tilt it and push it down, so it push water back, and when it's down, I tilt it again and heave it and push water back as well. And this works very good for underwater because at the surface you can swim like this, but the air has little resistance. If you do that underwater, you have so much resistance that you lose a lot of power. With the water wing, you only lose on the tilting moment, but for the rest you have propulsion all the time. But up to that, it is also a very good push-off for the monofin because you can make more power. And the monofin, in its turn, is a push-off for the water wing. So you push them off against each other. And I also compare it with if you want to move heavy furniture. If you push it like this, or you have your back against the wall, you can make much more power. The dorsal fin, well, I read about that it facilitates the dolphin to dive down because the water is closing above their body, and the dorsal fin leads the drag off. So that's what I use it for, and I thought, well, I can try it out. What they think of my dorsal fin. Well, that is a sort of a side effect. I often heard when I came out of the water, there were two dolphins. And the first time I heard that, I thought, were there two dolphins? Oh, jeez, that was me. It's just fun.
Jan asks François Sarano to dive with him. But will Dusty accept the presence of a stranger? He enters this world respectfully. Jan loans François one of his water wings. Dusty seems overjoyed to have a new companion. He plays her game and answers her insatiable curiosity.
Wow, thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay.
It was wonderful. And really, he's curious. I'm curious. It was a good and incredible first meeting. And then I went out to adjust my belt.
Yeah.
And she came back, wait for me, as soon as I was in the water,
You're in her system now. She knows you. You come back in 3 years, she recognizes you.
Dusty is free, independent. Nobody feeds her, no one protects her. She lives without bargains, she makes the decisions. She is wild and can vanish for months.
We have had great swims together, but it's not like I go in the water and she comes over automatically, just when she pleases. On the 15th of October 2009, there were 3 other dolphins in White Strand in Milton Mowbray, where she was at the time. And there was a huge male, and he was jumping way over her, and she would come halfway out of the water. And there was, she was like, "Who, you big guy, are you doing this for me?" So there was romance in the air. And then a week later, she left from White Strand, and she disappeared. And then another week later, she turned up in Fanor again. And I figured that she might be pregnant because of the romance thing, but also because she went to a place where she'd been in her youth, and it's very quiet there. And then on the 2nd of December 2010, a neonate dolphin, just born calf, washed up on the coast at Doulin, and it was still alive when it washed up, but it died soon after. And it's a tragic thing, but solitary dolphins, they don't know how births work because they don't observe it in other females. And also dolphin births, they peak in July and August around here, and that was in December. So circumstances were very bad, and there was even a storm going on. So that's how she lost it.
Dusty is what's called an ambassador dolphin. Ambassador suggests coming on behalf of others. Perhaps Dusty and the other dolphins are really explorers, like Marco Polo or Mozart, seeking new horizons. Maybe they want to meet other intelligent creatures.
Because nobody knows for sure, but I have my theories about it. And I think that she was the cleverest of the group. And like in humans, that's not very much liked. So either she was thrown out of the group, or she chose to be outside herself. And it may not be waterproof evidence, but she's been able to survive on her own for 15 years now. And dolphins are social animals, very social animals. So she must be very clever to be able to survive. And the reason that she's attracted by humans, you best ask Dusty yourself.
Dolphins have insatiable curiosity. Thanks to a lobster claw found on the seabed, François Sarano attracts Dusty's attention by scratching a stone. He decides to stimulate Dusty's interest. Dusty is surprised. She uses her sonar to understand what he's doing. Her sonar emits a succession of whistles, which she uses to analyze the echo sent back by his hand, the seabed, and the rock. Dusty thereby gets a picture of the terrain, which is a lot more accurate than our ultrasounds. Because she doesn't just see the shapes and the movements, but also the internal structure and texture of an object without even touching it. You could say that thanks to the echo, dolphins can see with their ears. The whistles are so intense that they sound like a plaintive cry. Dusty's curiosity is striking, and all of the Isle of Inisheer seems to have accepted this dolphin that finds humans so intriguing. But more than just the attitude of Dusty, it is the sounds she makes that force the oceanographer to ask several questions. One day, will we be able to understand the complex language of these extraordinary animals? How can we decode their clicks and whistles? Dolphins use a wide range of whistles and clicks to communicate with each other. Underwater, all of these sounds create an astonishing concert, which the sound engineer Nicolas Kelbert is recording.
And there they're talking. We can even hear the sound of the waves, the sound of the waves behind, the sound of the waves on the beach. Yeah, that's the sound of the sound.
For a long time, scientists have tried to discover the secret of the mysterious language of dolphins. Some of them hope to find a correspondence between human vocabulary and that of the cetaceans. Why would dolphins use a vocabulary similar to ours? Would they need it in an environment so different from our own? They have senses that are so much richer and sharper than our own. What does Angie think? She lives with the dolphins. What does she think of Dusty's plaintive echo sounding?
Hello. Hi.
Welcome.
Hi,
How are
Andy.
you?
Thank you.
Good.
How are you?
Please, I'm good, and you? Come
Yeah,
in.
I got my
Got all
computer.
your stuff?
Yeah.
Good. Yeah, it's
Echolocation, definitely.
Yeah. Very strange.
Very strange.
Very strange, yeah. Very interesting sound. I can't say it's something that I've heard down here, specifically when we have those close encounters.
Yeah.
No.
It is.
Yeah.
She's asking questions.
Absolutely.
What are you doing?
What are you doing? Yeah. Why are you making that sound? And what is it you're using? For sure.
No, this noise is not the good one.
Yeah.
Listen, but
Yeah,
the one
that's-
before.
For sure.
And of course,
It's amazing.
we have recorded the click for echolocation.
Yeah. Yeah, you've had a look at all
And
the sounds.
sometimes she
and that
whistle
is-
also.
Yeah,
That was
yeah.
a dolphin. But
Of course. She's beautiful. And she is really interested in what you're doing.
For sure. Once I gave her the stone.
Yeah.
Of course, the stone alone doesn't make sound.
Exactly, yes.
She look at that.
Yeah.
She was looking at me. Okay.
What am I supposed to do with that? For sure.
What is going on?
Exactly, yeah.
No sound.
No sound, yes.
Every dolphin has its own personality, and each dolphin also has its own sound signature, its own name, like humans.
So I am wondering if sometimes you use something and you make a sound to make them recognize you.
Francois, I actually wear a bell, and this bell makes a really subtle sound in the water. And this is basically my signature whistle to them. You know, each dolphin has their own signature whistle. This is mine, and I've been using it for many years. And it's not used to call them or anything like that. It's basically just there for them to let, know that it's me and I'm not a threat, and everything's okay. Yeah.
You tell them that you are coming friendly.
I'm coming friendly, yes, yeah. They can associate the sound with me, which I think works quite well.
Unfortunately, not everyone is happy with this peaceful relationship. The naive confidence of Dusty is sometimes badly understood by some people who think that the dolphin is a toy for them to play with.
She learns from humans in terms of, well, that there are that we are interested in her, and we are open to her, so she can open herself up to us. But unfortunately, she also learns that there are humans that are well, not friendly to her, who are abusing her, trying to use her. Well, the things like, well, people see a series like Flipper, or they go to a dolphinarium and they see that people hang on to the dorsal fin of a dolphin, and people try to do that here as well, and she doesn't like that at all.
In a tourist destination like the little island of Inisheer, confrontation with the crowd is inevitable. The authorities have had to take drastic measures to avoid incidents caused by visitors who are irresistibly attracted by Dusty, but unaware of the extraordinary strength of a 3-meter-long dolphin. All over the island, signs warn that Dusty is a wild animal. It's difficult for city dwellers to understand nature when it has been so distorted by the culture offered by marine animal parks. To understand dolphins, there is no specific vocabulary. We must forget our reference points, our needs, our cities. We have to change our grounding. We have to lose ourselves in the 3 dimensions of the ocean, where there's plentiful food. We have to become entirely part of a society that doesn't think about possessions or consuming, but simply about being.
With Dusty, she is, you could say, a God-given opportunity to get closer to dolphins, because normally they go away or they keep their distance anyway. But Dusty is very generous as a member of a species to let us observe her behavior from very close and even interact with us. And that teaches us a lot about the species.
Dusty is like a looking glass for us, where we can learn who we are. Neither dolphins nor humans can live alone. Emotional relationships are a biological necessity as vital as the need for reproduction or food.
Like recently, I've been very much thinking about emotional intelligence, and I think that, for instance, well, dolphins, they have been here like 50 million years before us, and they always have been very social. That may even be one of the reasons that Dusty comes to humans, because she is able to sense our feelings, to sense our emotions, and there is never, of course, 100% proof of it. Well, there is a wonderful instance of Dusty taking care of me. I once was, down somewhere 4 or 5 meters deep, and I was going up straight as I was at the end of my air. And I was nearly at the surface, and then I felt an enormous swipe over my head. And looking around, I saw that Dusty, with her tail, had made a sweep over my head. And then I saw a big jellyfish going around in a vortex and going away. So she had saved me from coming up under that jellyfish. And I thought that was very considerate of her, because I would have been in big trouble.
Dusty doesn't just like the company of people. She's curious about everything. She comes every day to watch the boats go out. And she seems fascinated by the invention of the wheel. Our relationship with dolphins, as with the rest of the wild world, can perhaps only be one of force or of servitude. But there is a narrow path, a path of respect that allows us to encounter free animals, untamed, without them fleeing from us, and without us domesticating them or forcing them to suffer our whims. Dusty's naive curiosity is like that of a child, uncalculated, not for immediate profit, just marvel at something new. The happiness of paying attention to another being. There is nothing to gain except mutual well-being. But like a child, Dusty gets tired of François Sarano's repetitive experiments. She leads him away into simple and useless tricks. Will we one day understand what draws the dolphins to us? What does it matter? Everything about dolphins says to us, if you will come into this wild world in peace, it will welcome you, and you will be profoundly changed. It is a message which goes beyond words.